Good evening. How are you doing? Dave with Renko Kings. Renko Kings provides you with simple, clear entries. It's September 14th. It's about 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're taking a look at the micro NQ right now. So, I'd like to start with my chart scrunched up, okay? So you can get an idea of, the big picture. And, it's starting to look like we're putting in some bottoming here, but it's a little bit too soon, okay? So we got to let this play out and, are we going to get below the pivot or, you can see where we opened up over here for the overnight session. We came up, but we weren't able to break even the last high, which is not even the high of the day. Okay, so that
M2K
was
by signal 1.
That was your first clue that maybe this thing is going to turn over, and you can see that we just put in lower high. Okay, and when we broke this last low from the close, it would have been a beautiful breakout trade. We would have put our Renko Kings short breakout line right here. We would have broke out right here, came up, got a beautiful red signal, and then it just sold off. Okay, so tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my long breakout line right here. My short breakout line I'm actually going to put at the pivot, because the pivot is so close to where this bottomed out at. I would not continue to take a short if it just broke this low here, because the pivot is going to act like a magnet and pull down to it, and I wouldn't want to get into a short trade where maybe it just breaks down a little bit, okay, and then decides to turn around and go up. So I'm just going to place my short breakout there. So let's just, like usual, let's just be patient and see what the market is going to present to us, okay? Looks like we've got about a 11 tick
MYM trade
there.
alert.
I question whether or not we'll actually get a signal here based on the fact that, we've got some shorts over here and it takes time for the software to understand that the trend is changing. So I'm not seeing anything just yet, but if I did get a signal, I would definitely take, I would really like to see a nice deep pullback down to here and get some nice stair stepping in place. That would make me feel a lot more confident.
MYM trade alert.
Just an observation.
MNQ trade alert.
Okay, so now we have full stair stepping in place.
Order submitted.
1, 2, 3. So we just need to respect on this pullback.
MYM trade alert.
That it doesn't violate the support line. If it violates the support line, I won't be interested in the trade anymore. I also have to be cautious that as it pulls back deeper,
MNQ trade alert.
We had a red trade alert, okay, flashing, so we still have a red. Sometimes you lose the signal, so you have to be careful trailing this bar close indicator back with your buy stop order. So if you wanted, you could go ahead
M
and
and
place
Q
a
trade
limit
alert.
order down here and put your stop right below here. You'd have a potential Renko Kings double bottom here, and you only have a few ticks of risk. So if it continues to go through and you get stopped out, it's not that big of a deal because you only lost, 2, 3, 4 ticks for that swing of the bat. Okay, so I can go ahead and cancel this order.
Order canceled.
Because we now violated the support. I'm no longer interested in this setup. So now we would have to see, we'd have to see, for me to be comfortable with this, we would now have to break this high, then retrace, get a valid signal for me to be interested in this trade. Okay. Okay, so we're breaking that high now. I'd like to see it be more significant than just a few ticks, but we have broken that high. So on the next retracement, assuming that we get a signal, I would be interested.
Order submitted. Order filled.
M and Q, buy signal 3.
Okay, so let's go ahead and mark this trade. Looks like we had a little bit of slippage.
Target filled.
Nice. I was just about to move my stop. So I was going to adjust my target also, but beat me to it. So now if we get a retracement here, I'm going to have to adjust my stop because you can see it's a couple ticks. It needs to be a tick below this wick. Right now it's sitting above the wick, so let's just wait and see if we get a retracement here or not. Next target's at 52 ticks. Alrighty, well, just missed that second target by a couple ticks.
M and Q, buy signal 4.
Nice. Nice. So we got our first and our second, and all risk is off at the present time because our stop is now at break even. I've got my second target, my stop's at break even, and now we just have to decide how we're going to trail. We could trail right behind this, consider this a pivot. It's not a great pivot because it was just one bar down and one bar right back up. This is a decent pivot point, 9 bars down. So we'll just have to see how this moves and decide Okay, so we got a nice double bottom here, tick for tick. It's just, can we get up and over this and grow some legs? So, based on now that we have a double bottom here, I'm just going to go ahead and trail this up. Because if we're going to break through this, look, my break even is here at 270 and 3/4. I'm way above the yellow trend line, right? So if this is going to retrace back, there's always a good possibility that it's going to come down to the trend line. So I don't feel like adding risk back to the trade and moving my stop back down to the original position. So what are my, what are my alternatives? So 77.25 is the wick, so I'm 1 tick below it. So I've got 25 ticks locked in on the third contract.
Stop filled.
Okay. So that looks like 24 ticks. Slipped a tick in that. Okay, so how do we do? We got 26
MNQ trade alert.
plus 52 plus 24, 102 ticks.
MNQ, buy signal
Nice trade.
3.
So the micro NQ is worth 50 cents a tick, correct? And if it was just the NQ, it would be $5 a tick. Okay, so 102 times 50 cents is $51. If you were trading the NQ, that would be $510. Nice trade. Nice trade. That's all you need, guys. You don't have to kill it every day. You don't have to trade over and over and over again. I'm looking for one good trade, and whatever I get, that's it. I'm done for the day.
MNQ trade alert.
So let me shut my signal off so it's not talking over me. And let's review for a second here, okay? So, this red line is the end of session, right? And so this starts right here, the overnight session. And like I said, we stopped here. We weren't even able to get up to the high of the day. This isn't even the high of the day. And then what did we do? We started putting in lower highs, right? And once we broke this low right here, well, that would have been a beautiful breakout trade. Go ahead and remove my low breakout line. And so if you can envision, right here was a breakout line. You would have had a breakout right here, retraced up, and got a nice red signal, and it sold off. So as long as you trailed this, behind these pivots here, you would have had probably a full boat trade, I'm guessing. So then what did I say? Okay, we came all the way back down to the pivot, and we weren't able to kiss the pivot, right? But the pivot is like a magnet, for the price action. And I said, hey, this kind of looks like a bottoming effect over here, doesn't it? And we started to, we put in this double bottom here, and then we started to put in higher lows, okay? And we even got stair stepping. We got the breakout, we got stair stepping, but we didn't get a signal, right? No signal there. And it wasn't until I said, okay, at this point, now I need to see it break this last high, because I want to make sure that it's still moving in my direction. Okay, so it broke this last high. If you wanted to, you could have redrawn this breakout line up here. I suggest you remove it first and draw a new one. Don't just drag it, okay, because it's going to keep the old value in there. All right, so you would just right click on it, remove, and then you would come over here and you would draw a new long breakout line right here, okay? But I'll go ahead and I'll remove that for the example purchases. So, so then we got this red signal, and I was fine with that. Okay, because it's part of a breakout, and I will take teal and reds for a breakout trade. Typically, unless there is some good supporting data, I don't typically just take teals and reds on their own unless I have some significant data to support taking that. Usually I'm just looking for blues and yellows because, as you know, yellow is my favorite entry. Okay. So we had a little bit of slippage here. We got our first target, we got our second target, and then we hung out here, right, in this area for quite a long time. And based on where the trend line was, where my entry was, I chose just to go ahead and protect my profit right up here. You know, you could have left it at break even, or you could have even moved it down back below this wick. I choose not to. Typically, I don't like to, once bringing my stop to break even, I don't like to bring it back down to the risk. Okay. So all risk was off the trade, and I had 25 ticks locked in. There was a little bit of slippage when it closed, and I got 24 ticks on my third contract. So 26, 52, and 24 gives me 102 ticks. That's a great trade. It's a nice little trade, and that's all you need in a day. You don't need to make more trades. You don't have to make, you know, 200, 300, 400, 500 ticks in a day. In my opinion, that's gonna lead to over trading. Your commissions are gonna skyrocket, and you're gonna find your profitability is gonna go down. Okay, and in my experience, I found that I was less picky the more trades I took, and just started over firing, and it didn't work for me. So that's my trading plan. Everybody has to have their own trading plan. So whatever your plan is, make sure you have it written down, and make sure you're sticking to it. And you can justify after you take a trade, win, lose, or draw. Did you stick to the plan? Did you evaluate the charts properly? Just because you were profitable and won on a trade doesn't mean you took a good trade. Okay, I want you to be cognizant of that. Okay, you could have just gotten lucky and made a bad trade. I'd rather make a good trade and get stopped out than make a bad trade and be profitable and get lucky. Okay, so I hope this trade helps. Take notes while you're watching this video, and that way over time you can go ahead and apply what you've learned here to your own trades. Okay, so if you have any questions, feel free to send me an email. Okay, have a great evening.
Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to leave us a comment down below.